All right, here we go. This can go along with any sort of calling, but specifically, I'm going to talk about something that's in my realm that I guess I feel like quote unquote expert, as by definition. We're going to talk about calling coyotes, bobcats, fox. I'm going to give you a story that throws me in some people's shoes as far as asking questions with regarding to sounds. So the story goes about 15 years ago. I was going fishing with my buddy Mike to a lake that he's fished all of his life. Mike's a really good angler, especially on this lake. He does really well on this lake. He's fished it a lot, and he's put his time in. And I was going with him on his bass boat. And I think my grandma had bought me the banjo minnow. The banjo minnow was the lure. It was being marketed, and I'm sure they sold millions of dollars in banjo minnows. And it swam because of its design like a realistic fish, and guaranteed to basically make the fish bite because of the way it swam. And when I pulled the banjo minnow out, Mike somewhat laughed about it. I'm gonna try it, man. It's worth it, man. This thing, it showed it on TV, and it's catching all these fish, and it's something new, and it's hot, and it's gonna work. These fish had never seen it before. Lo and behold, I don't think I ever caught a fish on the banjo minnow. I'm not saying it didn't work, because I'm sure it did work in the right hands and the person that was skilled enough to use it in the right conditions. It was just another tool in the chest. If you want to be good at anything, you have to fail at it. You have to be successful at it, and that takes time. You're going to fail a bunch. You have to be willing to take those bumps. You have to be willing to humble yourselves and learn, and really pull out the facts and not the myths. The first thing the average or below average person wants to do in any sort of method or any sort of skill is they want to find that magical thing that will shoot them up and over that learning curve or hump. And I got news for you. It's not happening. These tools are only as good as the person operating them. And these tools, to one person, one day that's a novice, they could call in 20 coyotes. But then they're going to have failure after failure. And it's going to take some time for them to basically get that experience to be more consistent. So this call right here I use on Hunt for More, Fox Pro FX3. This was given to me as a sponsorship deal in the early 2000s when I produced a DVD called Dreaming of Predators. I still use this call today. I've sent it in a couple times to have some work done on it, got it back, produces good sounds. It's not the loudest call in the world, it produces good sounds. It's small, compact, and the dang thing works. Fox Pro Hellfire. This is guy Chris Chavez. He let me borrow this call this weekend. It's just a horn. Obviously, you can see the number one difference. Battery size is the same. The number one difference is the size of the speaker. And there is advantages, in my opinion, to having a louder call, and it may not be exactly for what you think. But okay, going into sounds, I'm going to give you the two sounds that I use. Okay, I use canine pup distress. And I use antelope fawn cry. Never used this sound before, I used it this weekend. Okay, so, mute it. Here's the reality. I think I could have used any number of different sounds. I think I could have used hand calls. But there's a lot more that goes into it that you need to work on besides just sounds. It's going to take some time. You're going to have to take your hits, and then, once you've done that, just really think about what the facts are and not what the myths are, and go like hell.